Hello. In this video we're going to discuss how we can change assignments to the switches and axes that are available in the flight simulator. It's quite simple to do, and I'd like to show you the basic technique so that you're familiar with how we set all of the buttons on your simulator. So we're going to press the Alt key, and that's going to bring up our menu bar. And we're going to go to Options, and we're going to come down to Settings, and in Settings we're going to come down to Controls. And you'll notice that there is a box here, and that's describing the control that we are going to be working with. We can adjust the sensitivity to all of the axes and switches. In this case, we're putting the mixture propeller and throttle axis at 100% sensitivity with no null zone. A null zone is sort of a dead area that you can move a control and it won't affect anything. There are two other tabs here. We have buttons and keys and axes. So if we go to axes are movements that move to select. And we have three axes on the throttle quad, one axis on the rudder, and two axes on the yoke. And what I'm going to do is just reset the ailerons and so I click on ailerons, I move the yoke to the position I'd like it, I get an X axis in the box, and I go OK, and now I've assigned it. I'm going to go to the elevator axis, and I'm going to pull out or push in, and it's going to put the Y-axis in the box, and I'm going to click OK. And you could do that for any of the moving axes in the controls. We can also go to buttons and keys, and in this case we can assign any one of the switches to any one of the 100 or so functions that we can assign it to, and we basically do the same thing. We go in and click on it, we select a button or a switch, it will light up in here, we click OK, and now we have assigned it. And so that's the basic method that we assign and validate all of the controls and buttons. There are other things you can do in here. Let's come back in. So Options, Settings. And in here you can work with graphics, scenery, lighting, weather, traffic, general sound, path, failure modes and controls, realism, time and season, and weather. I would suggest that you leave these as we have set them in the factory, because we've set them to optimize on the performance of the system. But you're free to make changes as you might like. And once your assignment has been completed, it will remain in the setting. One of the other settings that I'd like to just review with you is how we save a flight. And in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to World, go to Airport, and I'm going to change this airport to JFK in New York City. So I'm going to put in KJFK. In the United States, all of the prefixes for airports have a K in front of them, so the call letter for JFK is JFK, and the signature for it in aviation is KJFK. And now I'm going to double click on that, and now what I've done is I've moved my location from LaGuardia in New York to John F. Kennedy in New York. And then I'm going to change the aircraft, and then I'm going to save it so that we can retrieve this again in the future if we've set it for a field we want to revisit. It's going to load up all of our graphics. It's going to keep the same time since we're in the same time zone here in New York. So now we're at John F. Kennedy Airport. We can validate that by going to our map. And now it's going to show us at JFK. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to change the airplane. So I'm going to go to Vehicle, Select, And in this case, I'm going to just scroll down and we'll find an airplane that we like and we'll save it. So here I picked an MD-83 with Lufthansa paint colors, and I'm going to now insert that on the active runway at LaGuardia, at Kennedy. And this is us, and here we are. We can always get a look around. And we're getting ready to fly. Now, in order to save this so we can revisit it, I'm going to put it back in the cockpit, is that we come up here to Scenario, Save, and we name it. So I'm going to name this KJFK. And in this case, I'm going to put it on my favorites list, so I'm going to key it with the yellow. And I'm going to go OK. And now, if I want to reload that, I go to Scenario, Load, and I will scroll down until we get to KJFK, right here. And we can load it. And that's how we change locations, aircraft, and save them, and that's how we assign our settings to all of the controls. As always, please feel free to contact us with any of your questions, 203-527-5747. Thank you very much.